gets you down and you're feeling lonely, when you can't find your truth or find your center, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other, and the scars that we see just make us stronger. We breathe it in together, we'll hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. When life gets you down, you can't see the future. When it all seems too much for you to handle, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we pray together, and the hurt that you feel will be set free. We breathe it in together, we'll hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. Love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. Love lives here.
Good morning and welcome to Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, and it is my distinct honor and pleasure to serve this beloved community where we know that love lives here. As you're coming in, go ahead and say good morning. Put that in the chat there and let us know where you are watching us from as well. And as we begin this morning, we acknowledge that we gather on the unceded territory of the Cahuilla people. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbor, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly upon this land. We recognize our oneness, to decolonize our minds and to set each one of us free from the pain of racism and violence, to live better as God intended, in harmony with nature and with one another. And so, as I mentioned, as you are coming in, I invite you to go ahead and type in there where you are watching us from and say good morning. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Mom. Good morning to the Bogan family. Good morning, Francis. Hey, Laura. Good morning. Good morning, Philip. Great to see you. Anjali, good morning. Great to see you. Oh, and Tehachapi. Woo, that is chilly, snowy. Beautiful. Good morning, Linda. Great to see all of you as you're coming in. Good morning to Marty and Vicky and Seth as well. So great to see all of you. It is such a joy to be with you. Good morning, Allison. Great to see you. So let's come together in song this morning, shall we? Oh, Sandra, great. Good morning from Huntington Beach and Newport Beach. Kind of like right on that line there, huh, Sandra? Great to see you. All right, let's start by singing Spirit is Alive in Us by the fabulous Denise Rosier. Good morning, Pat.
Hi, everybody. Please sing along. Spiritual aliveness, you're alive in us right here. Spiritual aliveness, shining bright through us right here. Spiritual aliveness, reaching out with every touch. Spiritual, the voice in us, rising up beyond the hush. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
Good morning. I'm Neil Hayner. I'm one of your licensed spiritual practitioners. I invite you this morning, if you're willing, just to close your eyes. Take a deep, mindful breath. And recognize with me that God is right here and right now. God as love, as light, as peace, as balance, as joy, as perfect divine right action. I know and declare this morning, I recognize that God is living, moving, and having its being in this moment, right here and right now. And in all of the countries and states and people, in every place and in every space, God is. Everywhere known and unknown, seen and unseen, God is. In the waves, in the clouds, and in the rain, in the galaxies spinning out from the center of the universe, God is. God is all that there is. And so knowing that that is true, I know that God is living, moving, and having its being in this gathering this morning. That this time of being together in spiritual community is God-directed, God-inspired, God living its life as each one of us. And so I know that this time is perfect, that it is complete, that it is whole, that it is divine right action in action, and that everything that needs to be seen is seen and everything that needs to be heard is heard. I know that every single person within the sound of my voice today or in the coming days is touched, is deepened, takes away from this community and from this moment, from this music, from this talk, everything that is needed and everything that is called for. I simply call it good and know that God is living and moving and having its being in this moment and in this service. And for that, I am so deeply grateful. Grateful for each person showing up here this morning to be in spiritual community, to say a sacred yes, to go just a little bit deeper, to practice just a little bit more. And in great gratitude, I say, and so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear there is only love. When I lose myself, when I think I've lost my way, when I go inside my quiet mind, I hear the Spirit gently say, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Letting fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
Thank you, Jabel. Thank you, Neil. Appreciate that. And thank you, Matt, for accompanying Jabel on the drums. Awesome job. Thank you so much. Good morning there, Mike and Jeannie. Aloha kakahiaka to Casey and Wayne. Good morning to our beloved Edison family. Good morning, John and Lupe Marie. Good morning, Chester and Tomorrow. Hey, Tona. Good morning. Good morning, Dorcel. Good morning, Elizabeth. Great to see all of you as you're coming on in. Make sure that you start a watch party and allow people to share in the love with you. Bring them on into this community of love where we know that love lives here. So why don't we start with our focus statement this morning, shall we? As we always do. So here we go, all together. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Once again, good morning, Tommy. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. I was so excited to see Tommy. I almost forgot our focus statement there for a minute. Hey, Tommy, great to see you. So this year here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, we are working with the theme of Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And that is also the theme for the month of January, which we are still technically in. It is January 31st. Barely, but it is January 31st. I don't know where this month has already gone by, has already flown by, but it already has. And today we are looking at the topic of looking above. So the past few weeks we looked at here and now, where we focused on remembering that this journey that we are on, that we are on a journey this year. Let me back up there. That we are on a journey this year, and it is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision, and it is the spiraling journey upward that we are collectively traveling. And so we are looking at that metaphor this month as well, in how we are applying our timeless wisdom as the evolutionary vision is pulling us higher and further along on our journey of unfoldment, of spiritual unfoldment. Good morning, Stringfellows. Good morning, Naces. Great to see you as well. So in so doing, if we think about the journey a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the here and now, and we talked about looking at where we are in the present moment, assessing where we are, because if we don't know where we are or have some sense of where we are, it's kind of hard to get some bearing as to where we are going or where we even want to go, right? So we looked at the here and now, and we looked at what will serve us on our journey, what we want to bring with us on our journey, and what we want to leave behind. Things that are perhaps no longer serving us, so we want to leave those things behind. Sorry, my computer just went crazy. 1 second here. My apologies. All right, there we go. So what it is that we want to leave behind, right? And then last week, we talked about looking ahead. So we've assessed where we are, we got that. Now we're looking ahead and we're setting our intentions as to where we want to move forward to, where we are looking ahead to. Perhaps we are setting an intention, or perhaps we have a destination in mind when we think about our journey. And so then we can anticipate what challenges or opportunities for growth we might anticipate along the way, what obstacles we might anticipate along the way, and what spiritual tools and what spiritual practices we might bring with us on that journey to help alleviate or to help navigate those opportunities for growth. And we also talked last week about the importance of, once we have that idea and we've anticipated and we've prepared, we've assessed, anticipated, and prepared, we talked about the idea of surrendering, the idea of allowing, the idea of trusting, and having faith, hope, and love as we begin our journey. And so today, that's where we're going to focus more of our time together, is on that faith, hope, and love piece, as we are talking about looking above. So we've assessed the here and now, we've assessed the looking ahead, and now we're going to look above. We've been talking about looking above and looking up for a couple of months now, and how important that practice is of seeing rightly and lifting our eyes to the mountains, right? Lifting our eyes to the hills from which our help comes. Good morning, Amber. From lifting our eyes, right? We've been talking about that for a while, but we're going to explore this from yet another perspective this morning. So as we gather here and as we study what the faith and the philosophy, the practices, and the teachings that we share here at Centers for Spiritual Living, and we look at our spiritual mind treatment or our affirmative prayer, frequently when we do affirmative prayer, we know, well, what we know what affirmative prayer is, we're never begging, we're never asking, we're never beseeching, we're never bargaining, but we're stating it as affirmations of truth, as that it's already done, as though it's already here, as though it's already present. Whatever it is that we may wish to experience, we state it affirmatively as though it were already happening. And we're frequently cautioned to be specific, but don't outline, right? So be specific with what we want to experience, but don't outline it, because if we outline it, then we're narrowing it too far, and then we are not open to receiving our good from a different perspective or another way, right? And so we frequently will say, this or something better, this or something better, as a way of kind of opening things back up a little bit. We'll say this or something better. So I'm choosing to experience this or something better. But really, how often are we really, really, really willing to experience the something better? I have a feeling that we have this tendency to kind of focus on the this rather than the something better. We have a tendency to put all of our eggs or all of our thoughts into the this without really opening up to the something better. I want this house. I want this job. I want this person in my life. I want this experience, right? Is what we're really focused on, without being more open to the something better. Now, I've shared with you the story of me buying our house in Vegas that I wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I was trying to outline and it wasn't happening. And I wanted 1 story and all that, and it wasn't happening. Couldn't find the house. And so when I finally released all that and I said something better and really breathed into the something better, that's when the perfect house arrived for me. And then and I got married then for us. But and it ended up being, a 2-story house with a master on the bottom floor, and it was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. So it ended up being the perfect thing for us when I released the this. When I stopped outlining the this and I opened up to something even greater. So there is the this, but there is the something greater, and that is the thing that we are looking at today. When we release our need to control, when we release our plans, then something greater, a deeper life, is waiting to emerge through us and is willing to emerge through us if we're willing to get out of the way, if we're willing to see something differently. So Emma Curtis Hopkins talks about this, that when we want to transcend our limitations, then we must look above our limitations. So in order to transcend anything that may be blocking, any limitation that we may be experiencing in our life, or in our house, we are to look above those limitations, look to the divine, see the divine, look above what has been limiting, and see something greater, something deeper, something more, greater possibilities, if you will. See something more, see something else, gain a broader, wider, more expansive perspective. By focusing on that something greater, then lifting our eyes above, then we are then focusing on spirit, we're focusing on the divine, we're focusing on something even more expansive and greater, then that is what then we bring ourselves into alignment with, and we are called to, and we move forward to, and it moves toward us, right? Rather than if we're always focused on this, we're focused here on the this, we can become myopic and we can't see what's around us. We can't see the greater expanse that is around us. So it's incumbent upon us to be looking above. So I have a friend who lives in San Diego, but when she was in college, she spent a summer working at Yellowstone, in Wyoming. And she was working at the national park there. And toward the end of her summer, her dad came and visited her and spent a week or so with her there before bringing her back to Southern California. And so they went out for a drive through the park, and they had the intention of going to a specific area of the park because the view was really pretty there. So they had this destination in mind. And so they went to this specific area, and they got out of the car and they looked around and they were really appreciative of arriving at that particular destination. And being the adventurous type that they are, they decided, you know what, let's go, while we're here, let's just go for a little walk through this area of the park where we're at. And so this particular area where there were some rolling hills, some gentle rolling hills in the area. And so they got out of the car and they began walking, and they crested this hill, and they're like, and her dad said, well, I know it's just over that next ridge there. And so they walked to the next hill, and he said, I know it's just over that next ridge here. I know it's just over that next ridge. I know it's just over that next ridge. And so they kept walking, and they just kept walking. And every ridge that they would come to, they would see a new ridge, and they would appreciate where they were standing. They would appreciate their surroundings. They would appreciate everything, the journey up to that point, and they would appreciate where they are. And then they would see the next ridge, and he would say, it's just over that next ridge. I know, it's just over that next ridge. And finally she goes, Dad, what is just over that next ridge? What is it that you're looking for? He goes, I don't know. Maybe it's more of the same. Maybe it's a moose. I don't know what's over the next ridge, but I know it's over the next ridge. So this continued on, and finally they got to a hilltop. And there below them were was a herd of pronghorn that had just given birth earlier in the season there. And so there were all these little baby pronghorn running around and playing in the field and everything. And they're like, that's it. That's it. That's what I've been waiting for or been looking for, was this herd of pronghorn sheep. But not sheep, but this herd of pronghorn. So he didn't know what it was that he was looking for, but what it was is he was being called to something. He was listening. He was trusting that infinite invisible. He was trusting that spirit within, that voice within that continued to call him forward. And as they crested each ridge, then it was like, but it's just over that next one. It's just over that next one. It's just over that next one. So he had this deep abiding faith that he was being called forward, and he had this joyful expectancy, which we defined as hope last week, this joyful expectancy that there would be something great waiting. And even if there wasn't something great and different waiting, the whole journey itself was something wonderful and fantastic, because they were spending this real quality time together that they hadn't really been able to spend for a while. So they were moving forward and just allowing themselves to be carried, steeped in curiosity, appreciative of where they were in the here and now, appreciative of the sights that they were seeing, appreciative of everything that they were experiencing in that moment, taking time to really appreciate the now moment, and also feeling that divine urge being called forward. Because if they had just stayed by the car with the original destination that they had in mind, which was this overlook, if they had just stayed there, they never would have experienced seeing the pronghorn, which are very rare to be able to see. So they were open and available. They had prepared, they had assessed, they knew where they were going, they had a destination in mind, but they had a greater intention to be open and available to what Spirit would bring them that day, to what Spirit would have them do that day or experience that day. They had the this, they had the this, but really they were focused on the something greater. They were open to that something greater. And that's really what this looking above is about. It's about staying open. It is about trusting. It is about having faith that there is something that is pulling us forward, that is calling us forward. There is that something that maintains and sustains us. There is that something that has good waiting for us, that is good ever available to us. There is that something that is, we call Spirit or the divine or God. And by keeping our sights on that, we not only get to experience the this, but we get to experience so much more. We're no longer limiting ourselves to only this limited experience, this limited idea, this limited belief, this limited thought. We're opening up to that greater this. And the more that we open to the greater this, the more we experience divine guidance, the more we experience divine wisdom, the more that we trust and know and have faith in the inherent wisdom within each one of us. So on inauguration night, I watched the the concert that they had in place of the balls. I watched the concert, and there was Justin Timberlake and Ant Clemens, and they sang a song that they co-wrote called Better Days. So I'm watching, I am enjoying this song. It is a great song. It's so feel good. It's a feel good song. And I'm watching and I'm listening to the song and I hear these lyrics. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm blown away. It was just like, so I wrote them down immediately. Like they were singing and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so perfect. So I wrote them down immediately. And the lyrics that were in the song were, tired of looking left or right, look up, set your sight on better days, right? Tired of looking left or right, look up, set your sight on better days. I mean, powerful, powerful, powerful lyrics. I was just like, wow, this is so perfect because, you know, in 2 weeks' time, I'm talking about this topic of looking above and looking up. And here we are. Here is this beautiful lyric from this song, so relevant, talking about unity, talking about a greater vision, a grander idea for our country and for our nation and, you know, for the world and better days ahead. And it's so full of hope and so full of joy. And this is just so awesome. This is so perfect. I'm going to share it in 2 weeks. So I wrote it down right then, right in that moment. And then as I was preparing for this talk, I was so excited because I wanted to make sure I had the lyrics right. So I went back and I watched YouTube. I found the song. I found the song with the lyrics. I found a different version of the song, a longer version of the song, the one that was like played as part of the concert. Found all that, and you know what? I couldn't find those lyrics. I was listening hard. I played it over and over again. It's like, I know it was in this section right here, and I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to make sure. And it's like, they're not singing the lyrics. What the heck? They're not singing those lyrics. So then finally I did a Google search. I was like, hey, lyrics to this song. And I read them. They're not there. They're not there. But I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I know that they sang them that night. Or at least I heard them that night. I heard them because I was open and available to the impress of spirit. I heard them, and Oliver's agreeing. I heard them because I was available. I was open to a greater possibility. I was open to a greater possibility for unity. I was open for a greater possibility of hope. I was open for a greater possibility for our country. And I was open for a greater possibility for our community. I was open for a greater possibility for you. I was open to a greater possibility for me. I was open to a greater possibility for us. And because I was open in that moment, I heard a message that I knew that I had to share with you. So tired of looking left or right, look up. Set your sight on better days. And really, that's what it's about. That looking up, that looking above, that being open to the greater possibility. I love that, Tommy. A universal remix. Yes. You know, a universal remix. I love that. So true. It was just, that's so what it was about, and so what it is about. That is what that looking above is about. It's seeing above our limitations. It's seeing above the limitations of even song lyrics that are clearly recorded and clearly written that are missing, but yet hearing them and being available to the greater possibility for our lives. So I ask you this day, what is your this? What is your this? that you've narrowed your gaze, that you've narrowed your possibilities, that you are not seeing an expanded view. You're not seeing a higher perspective. What is your this? Identify your this. And then ask my friend's dad's question, or not even ask, just it's a statement, right? I know it's just over the next ridge. I know it's just over the next ridge. I know it's just on the other side of the next ridge. I know it's just on the other side of the next ridge. And have faith and joyful expectancy, and love will lead the way. And what you'll find is love. Because as Jabel sang at the beginning, there is only love. And so in knowing this love and in knowing God, we know ourselves, and we know a greater possibility than we ever imagined before. So let's come together in consciousness now. I recognize here and now that there is only love. There is only this one infinite, eternal, ever expanding love. It is a love intelligence. It is a love wisdom that is forever guiding, directing, moving, expressing. I know that it is all that there is nothing else aside from this one love, this one power, this one presence. There is no thing, there is nothing that is not this love. That all is this one. All is the isness and the fullness and the divine expression of this one. And so I recognize that it is me, that I am it, that right where I am, the power and the presence of love is, resides, moves, lives, expresses, and has its being as me, and I as it. There simply is just this one present here and now, always. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of everyone present here this day, everyone who watches this video, everyone who hears it. All of life, all of creation is one with this one, is the divine emanation and impartation and expression of this one love. This isness that simply is. And so I speak my word for this beloved community this day. Recognizing that we look up and we see beyond our limitations, we see beyond appearances, we look up, we look above to a higher idea. And it is that higher idea, it is that great expansiveness, it is that great expansion that calls us forward. Calls us forward in love, calls us forward in light, calls us forward in wisdom. And so we can trust it and we can move forward easily and effortlessly with grace and in perfect ways, that our steps are guided always. And we rise to the next ridge, we rise to the next ridge, and we rise again. And we see greater and further and beyond. And we open to a greater possibility for our lives than that limitation that we call the this and the now. We open our lives, we open our minds, we open our hearts, we open ourselves to receive so much more, to experience so much more. There is no limitation, there is no withholding in the divine. The divine in the beginning gave of itself, through itself, as itself, all, everything. Nothing is withheld. And so we open our hearts, we open our minds, we open ourselves to receive in this moment. And we breathe. We breathe in the breath of life, recognizing that we are actually being breathed. That is this one life, this one love that is maintaining and sustaining us. That is forever giving of itself the good, the all. And so we receive this here and now. We let go of our limitations and we open. We let go of our this for our greater good. And so I give thanks for this. I give thanks for this time. I give thanks for this revelation. I give thanks for the opportunity to no longer look right or left or right, but to look above and set our sight on better, higher, greater. Knowing that it is right here and now. I release this word and I let it be. And so it is.
I am one, simple and plain, no superpowers, no famous name, but I stand tall, 'cause I believe something greater has come alive inside of me. I have felt the Spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I am one, but I'm not alone. When I am with you, I am whole. Side by side, we find the truth. When the Spirit in me meets the same in you, I have felt this fire burning in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of God.
Thank you, Jubel. Thank you, Matt. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And good morning, Patty. Great to see you here this morning. Wonderful to have you with us. Yes. Good morning, Patty. Great to see you. Good morning, Cindy. Saw you too there. So we continue in this divine flow. We continue in this divine flow of good in our lives because we know God, because we know each other, because we know love. And it is this divine flow that we participate in right here and right now through our conscious contribution. And I want to say thank you again. I say it every week, but truly, I never want you to think that I expect it. That I expect you to do something, that I expect you to support this community, that it is something that you have to do. I never want you to think that it is a must. But what I do want to share with you is that it is such a beautiful thing to see our community continue to demonstrate the principles that we teach, continue to demonstrate the love that we are through our conscious contributions. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that. So the easiest way to make a conscious contribution is via your cell phone, is via text to give. Simply go to 951-419-5858 and type in the amount you are choosing to contribute and then hit send. It's just like texting a friend. It is that easy. And the friend that you're texting is you're texting Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. You're texting all of us. You're texting everybody on this feed right now. You are texting our community. You're sharing your love with the community itself. So thank you so much for that text to give. Another way you can contribute is you can go online to riversidecsl.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the word contribute, and you can contribute there. Don't forget that you can also contribute to the 2 or More Fund, which helps support the building itself, the maintenance of the building itself. Even though we are not physically present in our building, we still have our building. We still have maintenance that needs to happen with the building. So the way to support that, again, text to give, and as you type in the amount, then type the word more immediately following that, and that sends it to our 2 or More Fund. Same thing, you can also go online on our website, riversidecsl.org, and in the upper right-hand corner in the contribute button, you'll see a way to contribute to the 2 or More Fund there. Remember that 2 or more is a more. It is in addition to your regular conscious contributions. So thank you for that. I'm so grateful for that. So let's sing together about our gratitude and being grateful. Jubel, come on back.
Of course, we are grateful. I'm so glad to be here. I always am on Sunday. Here we go. Well, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love, for the love. Well, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love, for the love. Well, I'm grateful for the bounty that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the bounty, yeah. Well, I'm grateful for the bounty that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the bounty, oh yeah. Blessing, oh, I'm grateful for the blessing that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessings, oh yeah. Well, I'm grateful for the blessings that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessing, for the blessing, for the love. Oh, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love. Okay, so now we're doing
Grateful, yes, indeed. Fantastic, thank you. So before we hop on over to our Beyond the Message on Zoom, before we hop over there, the easiest way to join in the conversation Beyond the Message is to go to our Zoom. It's 249-395-737. 249-395-737, and the passcode is 92501. That's an easy way of doing it. Or you can also go to our website, and there's a button right there that'll take you right into that. And so we'll be moving over there shortly. But before we do that, I want to send a special shout out to Casey Wilson. So, as you know, Casey and Wayne have moved to the Big Island of Hawaii. They've returned home to Hawaii, and they are now living there. And Casey's time at University of California, Riverside is coming to a close, and she has accepted a new position. And that new position is with Centers for Spiritual Living Home Office. She will be the manager of the Professional Development Education Programming. So kudos to Casey. This is one example, a real tangible example right here in our community of somebody saying, yeah, there's this, but there is something greater, and I am open to that something greater. And so congratulations, Casey. It is very exciting. We are excited for you. We are proud of you. And we are really excited too for our center, as well as really excited for our organization, because you will contribute. You've already been contributing, but you will contribute such power, such joy, such experience to our organization. And you are going to have a fantastic and great impact on the future of our organization, the future of our movement. So thank you, Casey, for your big yes. Thank you for being open to something even greater happening through you, something greater happening as you than this. So congratulations, Casey. We are over the moon excited. And also a shout out to Michelle, who has another opportunity coming up as well with our home office organization. We'll be sharing more about that with you later. So great things are happening here in Riverside. Great things are happening here in our larger community, and great things are happening in our organization. We are in great hands because it's all the hands of the divine. It's all held in the hands of God. So congratulations. We are so excited. So just breathing that in, we know that something wonderful is happening through us right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. And I receive it because love lives here. Peace and blessings. Love you all. Congratulations again, Casey. See you soon. See you over on Beyond the Message momentarily. Love you.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new Thanks, Matt. Happy Sunday, everybody. Have a great one. Love.